your producer behind the screen.
Yeah. Hey guys. So welcome to another episode of Adapt, Attack, Advance. This is episode number 13. Lucky number 13 because I am just so lucky to have these two fine gentlemen on the show. Chris Lacoe and Mark Said of 7Twenty6 Brewing Company right here in Leland, North Carolina. Welcome to the show, guys.
Hey, what's going on,
Mike? Well, thanks for the nice piece of feedback. This is going to make for very interesting.
Yeah.
So if you would, I know I gave you just kind of an introduction, but if you guys would just kind of tell the folks watching and listening who you are, what your business is, and then the interesting thing is how long have you guys been in business?
Go ahead, Mark.
So this is 7Twenty6 Brewing. We've been in business, not in business actually, let's put it that way, in startup, forever startup, since about a year now. Concept has been about a year and a half with our partners. We have two other partners involved here, and it's a work in progress. This is not helping things. COVID is not helping things, but we're pushing through. We're slogging through this. Go ahead, Chris.
I'm Chris Lacoe, born and raised Eastern North Carolina. Been in Leland for 19 years now. Former business life has been Highway 55, formerly called Andy's. Had done that for about 25 years, owned pretty much everything around here except for New Hanover County stuff. Was a master franchisee for South Carolina and Texas. Sold everything in that within the last year and a half or so. Have a surfing and kiteboarding school down in Carolina Beach called Odyssey Surf and Kite, and a nonprofit called Ocean Cure. And then, we started this project with, as Mark said, another guy named Nick Floyd, who's not on here today, but he's born and raised Wilmington guy. So there you
go. Cool. Well, and your favorite color is it red?
Carolina blue, man. What are you talking about?
Well, so you guys are the first guests that I've had that are actually pre-read, right? So everyone leading up, they've had businesses, whether it be operational for a year or 5 years or 15 years. Kim Monhano she owns Brush Salon. She's owned that business for about a decade or so. And it's kind of interesting because I want to get your perspective. I know both of you guys, and Mark, you were on Monday sharing, and that was very helpful. And then Chris, your extensive background in the restaurant business. I want to get your perspective on kind of adapting in these circumstances as essentially a startup, and you're trying to navigate to get your doors open. You guys, I don't know which one want to take that, but can you give me a little perspective of how you've had to adapt and pivot to where we are right now?
Go ahead, Mark.
So, the process was slow from the get-go. This has only made things a little bit slower in regards to permits, working with our contractors. The building process, because we're starting from ground up, we're not moving into an existing building. We're moving into a wooded lot. So there's been a lot of challenges from that perspective in ensuring that we can coordinate all the town of Leland, the architecture, the contractors, the Army Corps of Engineers, because we have some wetlands on our land. So there's a lot of coordination in there. There's a lot of loose ends that need to be tied up as well. But of course, it also comes down to funding and ensuring that SBA is moving as we need them to move as swiftly as possible. Adding an additional, every other small business in the country looking for funds definitely slows down the process as well. Thankfully, we're in a good position for that, but still, again, it definitely slows down everything in the grand scheme of things. We had hoped for a September opening. It may not work that way now because of these little slowdowns with contractors and ensuring all our permits are in place. So it's definitely a push in the right direction. I mean, us as being the owners and the partners, we're all doing our part to kind of really push every aspects of the project moving forward.
So that's an interesting point you bring up, Mark. So you guys were already going through the process before really the deluge of applications that have hit the SBA in the past 7 to 14 days. So that process was moving along. Have you seen any hiccups or challenges or anything like that, or is that everything pretty much closed out on your end from that perspective, or is that still kind of in process and can't talk about it?
We're on the tail end of it. I mean, that's pretty much the end. That's all we could share about it.
Yeah, sure.
We're at the near end of that aspect.
Well, let's talk a little bit about, Chris, you got anything you want to add?
No, you're good.
So let's talk a little bit about, man, a few words. So let's talk about the adapting with regards to the development process. So you started with a raw site. You're having to develop. You've had to do some mitigation, things like that. Has the limitation with these face-to-face interactions, has that slowed the development process down at all, or is it just developing in a different kind of way?
It's developing in a different kind of way. We're still on site. We're still working, renting heavy machinery, clearing out some land on our own. We're still working email, teleconferences, text messages every day within our team and within our vendors and contractors.
Okay, so you're still moving it forward. It's just moving it forward at a little bit different pace. Let's dive into sort of the attack portion of it. So I view that as sort of attacking the problem head on, to set to work on. I view that as sort of what are you doing physically, but also what are you doing mentally to attack the circumstances and challenges head on during this period of time.
All right, Chris.
It's obviously been, we want everything. It's hurry up, but now it's turned into hurry up and wait constantly. Some of it's beyond our control, and some of it very little has been in our control lately. Just because of the architects and the engineers and the people that we're dealing with, who their offices are closing down in a sense that they're not able to work as fast. That's kind of slowed us down. We've had a little bit of changes in, design and things like that. And we do have a big project. This isn't just a square building. It is, outdoor concert area. We're building like an 800 square foot taco shack outside. And then a nice 1,000 square foot kind of lean-to type of building for people to hang out and sit under. So we have all these ideas, and we've been trying to facilitate those the best we can. And what happens is we get the plans, and then we go, oh, well, this is cool, let's change this, and then we've gone through this entire thing. We've moved faster than anybody expected us to this point. But the wetlands has kind of been a little bit of an issue that we just wish we'd had that taken care of first, and then now we're kind of having to backtrack to fix some stuff. But anyway, other than that, all of us are fired up and ready to do this. Like Mark said, it's kind of been a conversation for a year and a half, and it's worked its way to this point between us talking to the town and looking at different sites and all the stuff that we've gone through to get to this point. It's been fun. We just wish it would get moving a little bit faster. This actually has probably been a better. This has probably been better for us with the industry as a whole, and the slowdown that's going to come from it, giving us time to get open.
That's point.
But again, we all talk all 3 days. And I didn't mention Ethan. Ethan is the fourth partner. We brought him on later on once he's the brewmaster. He's kind of the mad scientist guy that you want in there, who does this type of stuff, and he's amazing at it. So we ended up bringing him on as a partial ownership too. So we all communicate every day. Everybody brings a different thing to the table. It's a neat core group that we have, and we got big plans, and we're kind of just trying to get to the next step, waiting for that this kind of get over with so we can get moving forward.
And look, our contractors, I mean, being from the town of Leland to our architecture, our engineering, our environmental engineer, they have all been amazing. I mean, I could not have asked for a better group of people to work together. The town of Leland has bent over backwards to really help us do what we can, or do what they can to facilitate and open the door for us. Our engineers and them working together, amazing collaboration and cooperation. They've done a good amount of part. It's not something you can purchase. This is an actual motivation and enthusiasm from their part to help small business to open up.
Yeah, I think it's good. I think it's going to be a great draw, especially to sort of downtown Leland, if you want to call it that, or the gateway district of Leland. It's going to show some revitalization there. One other thing that I want to ask you, while you're kind of in this attacking phase, because there's only so much, like you're talking about, there's only so much you can do if your architectural firms that you're working with are a little bit slower because they are working remote, or things with the town because restrictions have been placed on entering the building of the town, and so it's a little bit slower process. I mean, they're doing a great job of keeping building permits going and things like that, so it doesn't come to a grinding halt. But what are you doing? And Frank Williams wants to know, are you going, when you're doing your taste testing, are you with that beard of yours, are you going to have a lumberjack lager?
I don't know. That kind of sounds like something fun. I think Ethan had 86 recipes for different beers right now, so I think we're gonna mix it up a little bit. We've got a lot going on. But yes, Frank, sure.
So the question that I do have, though, so have you guys, speaking of that, have you been able to use some of this downtime to do things like taste testing and figure out flavor profiles and get sort of a menu of the type of brews you really want to do and create?
Yeah, I mean, everybody's going to have a different style that they like. And I think, Mark, what did we said we were going to have 8, that were pretty standard across the board, and then mix in, seasonals along the way. So I'm excited just to get to that point where it's every day you just get to sit around. I mean, who doesn't want a job that you get to sit around with your buddies and make beer and drink and BS? I mean, it's like the perfect job, right? But
yeah, man, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, we have a lot in store. There's some we don't want to talk about right now, but yeah, we've got a lot in place. And yes, Frank, we will get you a lumberjack beer if you want to come up.
He was really saying that he now says that he wants an invoice of royalties in perpetuity for the name.
Send that over to the legal team. We'll see what we can work out.
Yeah.
Well, as far as you talked about a little bit, and if you want to dive into it, I mean, what are you guys doing in this process to kind of keep your mindset focused in on just moving ahead? Like, or is there anything that you're doing during this period of time? Working out, drinking more beer, programs, exercises, books, things like that, to just stay focused in on the task at hand and to keep powering through these uncertain times?
I'll start it, Mark. So I have, as well as Mark has 2 and Nick has 2. I have a 4-month-old at home and a wife working at home now, and the 6-year-old is at the house. So my nerves are shot pretty much every day. So I'm learning how to handle all of those things, which are brand new to me. But yeah, I mean, we are all passionate guys and all very driven to succeed, and we got a lot of big things on the plate for this. So between us motivating each other every day and discussing what we're going to do, hey, let's do this, let's do this, let's do this. There isn't but just so much you can do in the day right now.
Right.
So many bike rides and walks around the neighborhood, and I don't know, I've probably eaten 40,000 calories a day, just sitting around, whatever. But we are definitely motivated and definitely trying to push each other to get better, and we all have the same common goal, and we're just trying to get there.
Yeah. Mark.
just like I said on Monday, lots of playtime with the kids. I got my hella gig going on with the consulting. Plus, and yes, I've been reading up on this particular aspect of lifestyle and contracts. Lots of equipment review, research, startup plans, all kinds of different sort of point of sales. I mean, yeah, I've been doing a lot of background work to make sure we we get this thing up and running faster than we need to.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
All the stuff that the rest of us are terrible at. So Mark's the handler.
Hence the background. We got I get to play with the tech.
Well, this has been great, guys. Let's move into the final part, the advanced part, kind of pushing ahead. So to accelerate the growth or progress of, to bring forward in time, and then also to just move forward and proceed. So as we're navigating through these times, are anything that you've been implementing now, do you think will stick around moving forward? And then also, this may be a little bit of a loaded question. So how do you think the social distancing and the kind of the short term, I don't know if it's going to be long term, but short term new norm is going to impact the kind of the brewery, restaurant, entertainment venue industry? And I know, Chris, you have pretty long and extensive background in the restaurant business prior to this venture. So what do you think about all that?
For us, from the implement process, there's not going to be too much that we're going to implement, because it doesn't relate to what we're trying to do. And hopefully by the time we get to the point that we're building and in that process, this is going to be over with. From the social distancing standpoint and those things, and from the restaurant side of it, we'd had this conversation earlier on. I'd said, man, if this, a month ago when this really kind of started, I said, if this thing carries on for 2 or 3 weeks, hot and heavy, where you're not allowed to go in businesses, especially restaurants and some of these small businesses, you're going to see half the people go under. I mean, and that was about true. Now, at that time during that conversation, I didn't realize that, okay, they're going to say, no, you can't go in and eat, but everybody's going to, be allowed to get takeout. That's a game changer and a lifesaver for a lot of people. The big players, the McDonald's, Chick-fil-A's, they're doing just fine, and they're going to do fine. They're set up for drive-throughs. That's their main business in general anyway. They might be down some in sales, but for the most part, they're going to be fine. It's the smaller franchises, the mom and pops, the restaurants that are kind of held in by certain facilities that are going to keep them from being able to really sell and do to-go orders, because say they're a fancier restaurant, they can't really do these amazing dishes to go. Those are the people that are going to severely get hurt. The only good thing that has kind of come out of this is the fact that everybody's on the same playing field, in the sense that nobody can go anywhere to get any food anywhere.
That's
so,
right. Yeah.
They're all having to go out to eat, or they still go to the grocery store or whatever. But most people are still eating at a lot of the same restaurants. They're just not going in and sitting down. From what I've heard with the people I'm, used to deal with, there's a lot of them that, they're 40 and 50% down. Some of them 60, 70% on some of the really bad locations anyway. But in general, they're not in near as bad a shape as I thought it was going to be, 3 or 4 weeks ago. And hopefully, everything that we've been kind of watching, it looks like some of this is going to ease up in the next couple of weeks, and maybe people can get out and about a little bit more and help support these local businesses. Because, if you just look around Leland, how many restaurants we do have, there's a lot that might not be around, and just small businesses in general too, not necessarily just restaurants, but a lot of small businesses that just, if you don't have customers, there's no point in being open. So, I will encourage everybody to get out and try to do what you can, make a phone call, help somebody out, do whatever. And I don't know the answers to all of it, but I do know that there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be hurting. It's going to be a long-term effect, more than likely, that's going to take some of these people who are out of work and some of these businesses that are really in a bad spot, I mean, what's going to show up is 4 and 5 months from now, not necessarily 2 or 3 months from now. Hopefully, if this will get done and be out of the way before summer, our summer tourism will help boost economy in general like it normally does here, and hopefully people can continue to have a little bit of life and get back to it.
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, you're right. I was reading an article that was I think it was North Carolina Business Insider. I can't remember the exact source, but talking about depending upon how long this thing goes, you could be looking at 40 to 50% of small businesses in the state having to shutter their doors, because in many cases, small business they only have about 2 to 4 weeks worth of burn in their cash reserve, so their burn rate is 2-4 weeks if they're not generating any new revenue. And I had a restaurateur on last night, and he said so far month over month, so April 19 versus April 20, he's down 48%, and he's only 15 days into the month. It's just so it's a real I think the economic virus is going to be far more challenging, and that's all I'll really say about that. But I don't make light of the physical either, but you have to look at both sides of it. You talked about something really interesting about your timing of opening. So you guys are you're projecting to open sometime between now and maybe the Q4 of this year.
Yeah.
How do you think there'll be some pent up demand for people wanting to socialize and interact with other people again?
Oh yeah, there's going to be a lot of demand, especially the way we're set up. It's going to be, yes, we'll have a tap room, but we'll have a lot of outdoor space. And that's where the real true environment, the beer garden, the concert space, we've definitely worked on getting some big names to come in and play each weekend. The amount of, yes, everyone's out walking, running, bicycling, but the socialization aspect is missing. And I could see that being a huge selling point from our perspective and our facility as a whole. It lends it to that aspect and really a great environment to just sit back, relax, listen to some good music, have a good beverage, have a good meal, and just relax and enjoy the environment, enjoy the area that we've built for them.
Well, so I think that's a great point. And I think even depending on where we are with this whole thing, so Sandy Grigg just actually posted on Facebook. She said, what about some beer delivery? So you guys talk a little bit more about, as we're sort of in this advanced phase of the show, talk more about what's the plan there? You think you might start delivering some brews to homes and offices?
That would be something the state needs to regulate first. If I'm not mistaken, I think that's illegal.
I was trying, Sandy. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, there's no telling what new laws and ways of going about business are going to change once this is said and done. So, maybe.
Well, so let's talk a little bit about, so you guys are not officially open, but how can people that want to support you during this period of time, how can they do that? Can they buy some swag? Can they buy some merchandise from you guys?
Yeah, we're setting up a GoFundMe page. I'm just joking. Just joking. Yeah, we actually have. We have T-shirts, as you can see. This the hat. Mark, you got yours on? Yeah, he's got one of the gray ones. He doesn't have a hat on or a wig. Yeah, so
I like my shaved head.
But I got enough hair for him.
We got this right.
Yeah, so we do have a website coming. We do have Facebook. We do have Instagram that you can reach out to us. We are trying to get an e-store set up with the coming of the website. We just haven't push too much along on that yet until we got a little further with the building and some stuff like that. But yeah, all that stuff is coming. Reach out to me or Mark, or just reach out on Facebook or Instagram to us, and we'll try to get you taken care of. But right now it's just shirts and hats. That's all.
Hey, shirts and hats are good, man. They're comfy shirts too. They're good cotton. Good cotton. So they're nice and soft, man. They are.
Around town.
They're super soft. I wore mine running the other morning. They're good. They're nice.
Yeah, stop us if you see us around town. Say, hey, we're excited. We're excited to meet everyone. We're excited, and we'll take an order right there and then. I won't carry anything with me in the truck, but we'll take
sell a T-shirt from the back of the truck.
Hey, it might come to that if this continues.
Well, so is anything that this has been fun, man. This has been entertaining. Anything that you guys want to add, or that we might not have talked about? Do you want to talk anything about longer term plans for the project, or you want to just kind of leave them waiting for round two?
There's a couple of things involved. This is the phase one.
Yeah.
All right.
There's about 4 different phases with the whole project. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, we'll be more than happy to talk about them as the next couple months come by.
Yeah.
All right, perfect. Let's get phase one going. I'll definitely want to bring you back on when you're open, so that way we can actually do a toast live from 7Twenty6 Brewing Company. So guys, I appreciate what you're doing. Appreciate you continue to invest in the area, and I know that there are a lot of people that are excited and are looking forward to having you guys open and enjoying some nice stuff. Oh, one other thing before I forget. So 726, what's the origin of the name?
So Nick Floyd, baseball guy, we were having an argument one day. He's trying to tell me it's harder to hit a baseball than it is to hit a golf ball. And that just led down this rabbit hole of this, that, and the other, and his opinion, my opinion, whatever. So it's 726 inches from the pitcher's mound to home plate. So that's where that originally came from. And then we're incorporating. So my child, my 4-month-old, was born at 726.
No kidding.
After we had named the business. We found a boat way in the back of the property. It was this craziest thing in the world. Had, it's registration on the side of it from 1983 or 84 or something like that. And if you did 726 square, that was the number for the registration. How crazy! Man. Yeah, like insane. Like just some weird things like that. We're making the bar 726 inches long inside. Just and then we will have simulators inside, which you could hit baseballs and golf balls and stuff like that. So.
And then who's going to win that? Who's going to win that argument about hitting a golf ball or a baseball?
Well, I won because I always win the argument. It was just, I mean, it is what it is. We'll figure it out later.
Nice. Well, man, I appreciate you guys being on. I'm looking forward to getting to hang out with you guys and cheers it up sometime soon. And if you ever need people to do taste testing, I'm going to ask people, post up your comments in the comments below on Facebook and say, I'm in. I want to be a taste tester.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Thank you, Michael.
All right, guys.
Bye.
Bye.